You're listening to What Now with Trevor Noah. So it's Thanksgiving week here in the United States, and guess what? We have a little bonus episode just for you. Perfect to help spark a conversation at your Thanksgiving table. Yeah, and hopefully, a conversation that won't lead to someone storming out of the room. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know that one of our favorite games is If I Ruled the World. And you probably know how it works. Everyone comes up with one suggestion. If you were in charge of the world, you could do anything you want. What would it be? What would you change? You make your case, and then everyone votes on it. And if you get enough votes, that change would happen in your hypothetical world. Well, today, it's If I Ruled the World, Listener Edition. We got a bunch of suggestions for ideas from you, the What Now listeners, and Christiana Mbakwe Medina, Josh Johnson, and I. Well, we run through them, and we decide if we would in fact want to live in your world. It's a fun one, so let's get into it. This is What Now with Trevor Noah. So before we get into today's If I Ruled the World chat, since it's Thanksgiving week, I've been thinking a lot about the kinds of conversations we have when we gather with friends and loved ones around the table. And a lot of people ask me this question. They'll say, "Oh, Trevor, what do you do with your family? Like, how do you keep it light?" And look, I don't have a perfect answer for this, but I noticed there was a distinct difference in how some people started having their Thanksgiving conversations, especially over the past decade, let's say, and how we would gather with family members back in the day in South Africa. And the biggest one was we started all our conversations speaking about things that we all experienced, just taking people down memory lane, connecting around like crazy stories. Like, grandparents would talk about the grandkids and how much they'd grown and like embarrassing stories from their lives. And, and then the parents would talk about their first time having a Christmas dinner. Because obviously we didn't have Thanksgiving in South Africa, but we had family gatherings and family dinners where everyone came together at a certain time of year. And what I noticed is if you start conversations with the fond memories that connect people, you spend less time in the politics of now that divides people. And it doesn't mean you can't talk about politics. I'm not saying that. But just remember what you're trying to do. You're trying to connect with other human beings around a table, sharing a meal. It doesn't matter what the holiday is. That's fundamentally the purpose. And so if that's the purpose, think about the best way to go about that. It's finding a way to connect with another human being's heart. And a lot of the times, our memories are where our heart lives. So, I don't know, try it. Ask your parents about a funny story from when you were young that maybe you've forgotten about. Tell them to share something embarrassing about you that maybe you didn't know about, and then you can tell them a story from your childhood, something that you got away with, that you always hoped they would never find out. And I don't know, let's connect and see if we can make this one a little less about politics and a little bit more about the human beings connecting around this time of year. And maybe this will give you some inspiration. Play a round of If I Ruled the World with your friends and family and see if things stay a little more fun and insightful, right? And remember to think big. Think about crazy. Think just completely out of the box. In fact, if you want inspiration, take a listen to me, Christiana, and Josh right after this short break. Well, look at that. We're in the real world now. Here are a few that came in. I'm going to read them to you. I mean, we're still judges.
Reading and reacting.
I will read them to you and then we'll vote on them.
Okay.
First suggestion. If I ruled the world, all airplanes would board from back to front and we'd remove all Wi-Fi from planes.
No.
I mean, they had me with the first sentence. I don't know why they would ruin it with the second one.
Yeah.
What, you want the Wi-Fi?
I disagree with both. I just started flying business class, and now you guys want to take it away from me.
It's just Wi-Fi, though.
Yeah, but if you're in the business class and you board later, that's more time to be in the lounge potentially. If you really think about this as like a real champagne capitalist, right?
Okay.
Let all the pores get on first, right?
Then what's the point of the capitalism if you're not treated better?
No, Josh
you
is
are
saying you are
treated
treated better
better.
because you get to sit in a lounge for longer.
Yeah.
No, but then you lose the overhead space.
No, you don't, because they
No,
save
no.
it for business class. They're supposed
Yeah.
to save it.
The only people who lose it are the people in the middle. They're screwed no matter who boards.
And they paid more for their ticket.
Yeah,
by the
They did
way.
actually.
It's crazy.
They did actually.
Yeah.
So you're a no.
Absolutely not. And I want Wi-Fi on a plane.
You like Wi-Fi on a plane?
Yes, I'm
Wow.
on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm scrolling. I'm in the family WhatsApp group.
Christiana, we need to discuss your habitual connectedness.
Oh yeah, I'm heavily online.
Do you know that's the
chronically.
one time where I'm gone? Gone in ways that you cannot even
Yeah.
imagine.
Why?
No, when I'm on a plane, I'm like, guys, there is nothing that needs me on a plane. I'm gone. I have like that old vibe to it where I'm just like, he's on a plane. You know who I'm like? Remember Justine Sacco?
Oh yeah,
The girl,
about the AIDS.
yeah, the girl who made the joke,
tweet.
the woman who made the joke and was like, going to
Yeah.
Africa, hope
Yeah.
I don't get AIDS, lol, just joking, I'm white. And then landed in Africa and her family was like, you need to go back to America. And the whole world was like, you're fired and we hate you.
Yeah.
I live that kind of life. I don't want to know anything that's happening on the ground because I'm on a plane. Even if like an asteroid hit, it's none of my business. I'm on a plane.
It's nice to be unreachable.
Yes.
So I agree with that. And that's why I would say, even though I'm not fully in favor of the Wi-Fi thing, there are certain movies that I don't even try to watch unless I'm on a plane. There's got to watch it right away, wait till it comes out on
Yeah.
streaming, plane.
Yes.
And so I think if I had Wi-Fi on the plane, I wouldn't
You wouldn't watch them.
watch them.
Yeah.
So I'll go fully yes with this.
No Wi-Fi, but then Christiana voted no on it.
No on both proposals.
And board from back to front, you and Josh?
You have to board from back to front because the chaos that happens that the way that we do it now,
Yes.
we're late every time. They have to make up time in the air on the last like 5 flights I've been on because we get to the back and they said that it was full, but then everybody's like, I'll risk it.
But-
And they're sitting in all these different areas. And so now people have to go to the back because that's the only place with any space. But then people who finally get to the back who were boarding last because they're group Z, they're the ones that are like, but this should have been my space. Now there's an argument. You got to board back to front.
So I've seen somebody deal with this. I guess they were like I don't know what level of math you have to be doing. But apparently the best way is not back to front and it's not front to back. Because if you do back to front, there's also going to be issues, apparently. So your problem would come in when you're actually boarding. Because now Josh is seat 30, I'm 29, you're 28. But if I get on the plane and then Christiana doesn't, you're still going to have people
There's
blocking
still the
each other.
gridlock.
Yeah. So you'd have to line people up outside by their seat, by their row, and then you don't have enough space in the airport to do that. So that's why it fails. The real way you're supposed to do it is actually, it's supposed to be like alternating seats and alternating sides is how the plane is supposed to board from like just like left, right, but like flip one, skip one. It's very complicated. It's not going to happen. So whoever sent that in, thank you very much for listening to the podcast. But it's a no.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's a few more. All bosses are selected by employee vote.
No.
Ooh, that's a beautiful
No.
way to lose a company.
Yeah.
That's
Democracy is bad.
like you can't because this is the thing. I'm a pretty likable guy. It doesn't mean I'm effective.
Touche,
Do
my
you know what
friend.
I mean? So it's
Touche.
like everyone might vote for me to be their boss. They know I won't say no to PTO. So now because I never say no to PTO, I'm the only one at work, and then the company is losing hella money. We're hemorrhaging.
Yeah. What people should vote on is salaries.
What do you mean?
I think there should be radical salary transparency. Like, you know what everyone makes.
Yes.
That's
And
wild.
then, like,
yeah.
every year, you know, when it's like promotions and raises.
We vote on other people's salaries.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Then-
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, mind you,
You
people,
know-
do you know what it means? People will treat each other so well in that office.
Wow.
Because you know,
or
we
class
will have
warfare,
or we
gang
will
it
have
up.
many true crime documentaries
no,
where
but
like
from
the cause
including
was
the CEO. You know, like the CEO's salary is a sign. The board approves it. I'm saying, if we're going to be voting on anything, it shouldn't be who's the boss. It's like how much money
you're
you make.
literally creating murders.
Class
No,
war.
You are literally, when I find out
People
that
just-
Josh voted against my salary bump,
Why would he? Unless he shed his vote.
let me tell you
wouldn't know.
something. People are getting killed. You have created an office of murderers. I'm going to vote no as well because I just think it's ridiculous.
Oh, I'm voting yes, but I know I'm
You're voting yes?
Yeah, class warfare, baby.
Man, whoever you are, you brought out Josh the Joker, the worst version of Josh. This is the Josh that, like, if he falls into a vat of acid, we're all screwed. The only thing holding Josh back from this character is that he's still like a functioning member of society. So that's two no's and a yes.
Yeah.
All right, it's a no. But thank you for listening to the podcast. Next person says, if I ruled the world, I would ban single-ply toilet paper.
Yes, because it's a lot like a government program where they don't really help you. I would rather have no toilet paper in there than toilet paper I can see through when I look at it in my hand.
You've clearly only grown up in a first world country. Do you guys know this stuff before toilet paper?
Yeah, like,
yes,
I wiped my ass with newspaper for like years of my life.
newspaper's thicker than one ply.
Have you ever met the corner of a newspaper that you folded? There's no edges on toilet paper.
It's sharp, but
yeah,
it's
sharp
thicker.
in your butt, exactly.
It's thicker.
Sharp in your butt, exactly. This is a very first world opinion. You would rather have no toilet paper?
One ply is your hand. I would
no,
tell.
it's
I've used my hand. I've used my hand. Have you used your hand?
I've used my hand while I use one ply.
First of all, why do people act like you can't fold the toilet paper? What crazy world are we living in?
Because when you
also rougher. The texture of it's
when you
rougher.
try to
Yes.
wrap one ply,
Yes, I understand
you can't
this.
make two ply. One
people,
plus one
let
still
me-
equals one.
Let me explain something here. One ply is like flying coach at the back of a plane. It is the least good way to do something, but you are still flying in a plane. Everything
Interesting.
else is walking or being on like a ship.
The way that my fingers have
Josh,
broken
have you
through
wiped your
one
ass?
ply,
Have you wiped your ass before without toilet paper?
I've had
Intentionally.
no, not intentionally.
Intentionally.
I've had to. Yes, I have had to use.
Intentionally. I have, Josh. I have. Let me tell you something. Don't ever wish toilet paper out of your life.
I'm not saying I wish all the toilet paper out of my life. I'm just saying that one ply is so bad.
Yeah, you'd ban it, but then now we have no ply. Okay, I'm ready to vote. Mine is no. Christiana?
No, but because I think it's good for the planet. Right? I don't know how trees work, but it's
Okay.
less paper. So
All right, Josh?
Yes, because it's barely real toilet paper.
All right, well, that's still
That's
two
that-
no's
Yeah.
and one yes. Your If I Ruled the World was voted down. But thank you very much for listening to the podcast. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break. All right, here's another one. If I ruled the world, high schools would start no earlier than 9 a.m.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's fine.
Brilliant. Teenagers need sleep.
Yeah.
It's cruel.
That's like part of the problem,
Probably,
actually.
yeah.
There would be more kids in extracurriculars if some of them weren't at like 7 a.m.
Extracurriculars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like some of the clubs, like for instance, I did Quiz Bowl when I was in high school.
You did what?
It's like trivia for high school. I was a virgin. So
You did what? What is it?
hope
I just
so.
want to know what this is.
Quiz Bowl is like okay, it's like imagine Jeopardy but for everybody, and you go up against other schools.
Okay.
And you do Jeopardy pretty much, but it's not like the structure of picking off the board.
Okay.
It's like, I'm going to ask you one of the most random questions you ever heard.
Yeah.
You might know the answer, you might not, but your school gets points if you do.
Huh. Could you be like, yo, there's a girl, Tinashe, at our school, and she has what on her backpack? Can you ask a question like that?
It's all Jeopardy type things.
Okay, so it's
what's
more
the
general
biggest
knowledge.
ocean? Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, got
but
it,
it's
got it,
more
got it.
specific than general knowledge, which is also.
And you did this at what time?
It would be maybe I went there at 7.
Who designs
like
your
that.
schools?
But school starts at like 8:30.
Yeah. So
In
it's like
America.
Yeah, no, I understand that. We also had it at 8.
So if you're gonna do extracurricular that's before school,
Why?
it starts at 7.
Why would you guys have extracurriculars before school?
because you want
We
to
call
do
them
the ones
extracurriculars
after.
because it was extra.
Yeah,
You cannot do extra before.
apparently you
Yeah,
can.
Imagine going to a
apparently, yes.
restaurant and you're like, could I get an extra side of rice? And they're like, we haven't even served you yet. What are you adding the extra to? The whole point of extracurricular is that you have your curricula, then this is extra.
Yeah.
You can't start with it. We're fixing the wrong problem here.
In your scenario, you would just say "Welcome to America" because that is what we do.
Yeah, but you seem to know that. What's it like in the UK?
No, in the UK, we have like a little bit of socialism. So
there you go. You hang out in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
there was nothing before.
I don't know. This is a weird one for me.
It's also the only way you can.
I'd actually say start school at 10 and finish at 3. That would be my proposal.
Start school at 10,
Yeah.
finish at 3.
Yeah, that'd be my proposal.
Okay. I don't know. So I have a different proposal. I think you should start earlier, but do nothing for longer.
No, but they have to get out of bed. That's the issue. They need to sleep because they need to grow.
How
They
much
need a-
sleep?
they need
What
a
time are they
ridiculous
going
Maybe
to
amount
bed?
of
like
sleep.
12 to 14 hours.
12 to 14 hours.
Teenagers, your
Yeah.
brains, your bones, all like they need
It's
so much
insane.
sleep. They
They've done
their
studies
brains
where
need
they're like,
so much sleep.
that's why we think they're dumb. Because they don't sleep enough, and then we try to teach them. And then, at least I'm just talking about in the States, we try to teach them and they're tired. Then we give them a test and then they fail. And then we're like, okay, moving on to the next more difficult subject.
And they have to
Wow.
go home and study
Yeah.
till late, do
Okay.
their extracurriculars.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll vote. Then I'll vote yes.
Yeah.
This seems well considered.
Yeah, that's a
yes?
good idea.
Yes.
Yes. Whoever you are, congratulations. You have achieved the first yes. If you ruled the world, high schools would start no earlier than 9 a.m. This person had an opportunity to rule the world, and they just moved it by like an hour. I mean, that's responsible use of power, but not very creative. But thank you for listening to the podcast. The next suggestion we got was, if I ruled the world, everyone, no matter their job, has to shadow a service employee 1 day a month. What is a service employee? Are they talking about?
waiter?
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
making sure.
No,
Um,
that's a no from me. Go.
What do we define by shadow?
I think
'Cause
shadow means like do the job
You
as
said
well.
you
I mean,
do.
I thought shadow meant just watching someone do the job.
Yeah, my
Oh,
shadows never
no.
helped me do anything.
Yeah, you just like,
Oh.
I want to. Haven't you had that as a comedian? Oh, I want to shadow you for a day.
Comedians don't
Yeah.
shadow anybody.
but the way that I shadowed when I was working at like a regular job
Yeah.
was to do a mini version of the job.
Oh, Josh, I think you got tricked into free labor.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
I don't think that's
that's
shadowing.
not shadowing.
maybe we
that's
should
an unpaid
vote.
internship.
Yeah, I really
Maybe-
think that's
yeah.
unpaid work, Josh.
Maybe we should vote then.
I think I think shadowing is literally you just like see how the
Yeah, you
person
just
does
watch.
it.
Yeah, we
But
should.
what is the purpose of this? I
Because I
don't
think
get
they
it.
want us to gain empathy for like service workers. But if anything, watching someone do their job up close, you always have less empathy.
Yeah, you're like
Yeah.
that looks easy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like,
if-
it's just like,
if-
oh, you'd be like, do that better. Why
Yeah.
not?
That's why I gained a respect because then they would hand it to me,
And then you
I
would
was
see how hard it
doing
is.
Yeah.
so I thought shadow meant
No,
because
that's
you know how your
interning.
shadow is attached to you. Like I
Huh.
thought that you had to be
But
doing
your shadow
some of
doesn't do anything though. It's attached, but it doesn't do anything.
No, I see that now.
Okay.
I see. I see. I see
All right,
what
I
probably
guess
happened to me.
I'm ready to vote on this one then.
Yeah.
I say no.
No.
No,
Is it no for you, Josh?
Yeah.
nah. I guess not. Now knowing what the understood shadow is, I'd say no.
So no.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought shadow.
Thank you so much for submitting, but you will be the only person shadowing somebody at their job. But thank you for listening. All right, our final idea from the people who listen to the show. If I ruled the world, all toilet stalls should be completely soundproof. We don't need to hear what's going on in there. Okay, this one, I'm already going to tell you is a no for me.
This
That's
is
like the joy of going to a public toilet.
You like to listen.
No, I don't like to listen, but that's the joy of it. It's like a horror movie. I don't like horror movies, but if I took out the scary parts, then it wouldn't be a horror movie. A public toilet without the sounds is not a public toilet.
It's
Do you know
still
what I mean?
public. It's
Guys,
just
it would be
soundproof.
It would be creepy. Imagine going into a public toilet and it's silent.
I want that.
No, this is
I want
creepy.
that.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna vote no with you, but for very different reasons. Like I feel like I don't love the sounds, and I'd rather not
Okay,
hear
you're,
them.
Okay, so what's your
misunderstanding
no?
me. You're misunderstanding me. No one loves the sounds,
Okay.
but the sounds of part of the experience.
I don't even want to hear the toilet flush.
I mean, I wish I wasn't in there when I'm in there. So
You wish you weren't in there.
That's the
Yeah.
point.
yeah,
That's the point.
But the sound I would say needs to be left up to the environment because I went to the bathroom and there was a guy who fell, right? And we know he fell because he was like, I fell, right? And it's
Inside
like
one of the.
in the stall.
Okay.
And if it had been soundproof, who knows?
No one would have helped him.
Yeah.
You could die in there. Okay, have you ever used a public toilet and needed toilet paper and asked somebody to bring it to
And
you?
then
I've
you
done
were-
that once. Once in my life that happened to me. It was back in South Africa, but that happened once. And I was like, man, there's no toilet paper. And then I
Yeah.
had to shout out, hey, I need toilet paper. And then someone handed it to me.
Over the store.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I got mine rolled to me.
They rolled it on the floor.
Yeah.
So you wiped your ass with
No,
the floor.
no. It has more. It's unrolling as it rolls. It
Oh,
travels
okay.
the way that it.
Oh, so you
exists.
left the part of it that had...
Yeah. So basically, I was in a bathroom
Yeah.
in a restaurant that was out of toilet paper, and I had to wait until somebody came in. And so then I was like, hey, like, I need help. And the person was like, oh, okay, I got you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they left and they never came back. They didn't have me.
Wow.
And then someone else eventually came in. I was like, hey, I need some help. I need toilet paper. And they were like, ooh, I got you. Okay. And then they left and I was worried they wouldn't come back. But when they came back, they had the big old roll.
Yeah.
That big roll that you install in the thing.
Yeah.
And he bowled it under to me. And it was a real hero move.
I like this.
All right, I will
Did
say.
you get to meet the person afterwards? You remember back in the day on that TV show Rescue 911, you'd get to meet the operator who saved your life?
So
Did you get to meet the person? Did you like
No.
hug them and take a picture afterwards?
no, because I started thanking him and then he left. Because he knew I was wiping while I was thanking him. And I think that was too much
got a
for
bit
him.
weird.
All
Yeah.
right, so we're ready to vote. All toilet stalls should be completely soundproof. Mine is a definite no.
Yeah, I'm changing to a no only because in ladies' toilet, I don't know if you know this about women, but when I used to club 10 years ago before my life was over and I had kids, you hear so much gossip.
You see? It's
And
part
I
of the
believe
experience.
in gossip, also known as oral history. You know, so like I like when you're on the toilet, you just hear people talking shit and you don't
Yeah.
even know the characters.
Exactly.
But like all of
You
that,
see?
it helps
You
the
see?
camaraderie. So
This-
that would be the only reason.
This is yet another
Okay.
thing that'll make people feel isolated. It will make
Yeah,
you feel
it's true.
alone. Do you know how nice it is to sit in a stall, go through something physically, and know someone next to you is going through the same?
Well, I like the person that coughs because they're about to drop a load. That always
You
makes me
see,
laugh.
this is what I mean. Now you're understanding what I mean. You were so against me in the beginning, and now you get it. The sounds make this what it is. I vote no. No, toilet stalls should not be completely soundproof.
No.
No.
Well, there you go. That is a flat out no. We'll be hearing you take a dump, whoever you are. But thank you so much for listening to the podcast. So the only thing that got passed from the public, high schools will start no earlier than 9 a.m. So we'll see you at 9:01.
Our listeners are really concerned with toilets and
Yeah.
toilet paper. Like, what is going on in the bowels of like?
It's actually why it's so hard to change the world. Look at all those proposals.
It
and
really
only,
is.
only one thing.
The people don't think big enough. Well, there it is. If I Ruled the World Listener Edition. Thank you, every single one of you, for all your wonderful suggestions, even though we shot down almost all of them. But I mean, that's the nature of the game, right? And guess what? We want to hear much more from you. So we have a What Now email address. It's whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com. whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com. Get in touch with any comments about the show, suggestions for future topics or guests, and more of your If I Ruled the World ideas. I promise we won't shoot them all down, by the way. So send us a few. Let's see what happens. Tell us your name and where you're writing from. And better yet, record it as a voice memo and send it along so we can play it on the show. Once again, that's whatnow@dayzeroproductions.com to reach the show. We'll be back next week with a full new episode. In the meantime, from everyone on the show, we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. May all your plane boardings be smooth and all your toilet paper be 2-ply. Who do you think cries more? Kids or adults?
Adults.
Adults.
Let's have a vote. Okay, Kana, you say?
Adults.
Adults. Charlie?
Kids.
Kids?
Babies.
Babies. Ooh, Juniper the contrarian. Okay, throwing in baby Mateo.
It would have to be both, cause parents cry when somebody dies,
Yeah.
and then kids cry when they lose something. So
Ah,
I
okay.
would have to say both.
Okay, I see.
I would say babies.
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 Damn, babies. We started off going after adults,
My
and then
mom
I
said
feel
I
like
couldn't
babies.
say that.
Your mom said you couldn't say what?
D-A-M-E.
Damn.
D-A-M. Oh, oh, damn. D-A-M-N. Oh, D-A-M-N. Oh, okay, I won't say it either then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I'm saying it, I'm talking about the thing they build in a river to stop water from going somewhere. That's a dam. That's a dam. This is What Now with Trevor Noah. And so for today's episode, I wanted to have a conversation with you about children, but not like children through the lens of an expert and not children through the lens of an adult. No, this is one of this is a topic that I love because I don't think anybody's truly an expert in it, even though some people say they are, right? And it's like kids, parents, and how we perceive their realities. And the reason I say nobody's really an expert is because people often talk about parenting. I mean, you know this better than anyone as a parent, Christiana. Like everyone's like, this is a good parent. This is how you should parent. This is what you should parent. But I always think to myself, we don't often think about like kid up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Being a kid is really weird because in your world, you have a life, you have priorities, you have like your own like schedule even.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this other human being who just happens to be bigger than you, who basically tells you that your shit is nothing. Have you, like, my favorite thing, have you ever seen like a little small child doing something with like a box, right? Like just like a box, a cardboard box. And they're folding it, then they unfold it, then they squash it, then they unsquash it, and then they move it around, then they put things in it, then they take things out of it, then they drag it around the room, and then you come and you're like, yo, we gotta go, we gotta go somewhere. And the kid is like, I'm working. Have you ever seen the kid's face?
Yeah.
The kid always has a look like, yo, I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's funny how, I always think to myself, it's funny how as adults, we think the kid's doing nothing.
Yeah.
But I often think, what if we were in like the office, typing up emails, dear sirs and ma'ams, to whom it may concern, please revert ASAP. Or imagine if while you were doing that, a giant came into your office and then like lifted you up from your chair and was just like, time to go. And you'd be like, and you're like, I gotta do mine. And they're like, no, time to go. And that's how it must feel for them.
Yeah. Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
But it's time to go.
Yeah, you see, I see that. You're a mom.
It's time to go.
When do you think you became a mom? Like became a mom?
I was always someone's mother. I have 3 little sisters.
No, but there's like a
Eldest
different
child.
shift. I'm sure there is. Because I know you. Remember this?
Yeah.
I knew you before you were a mom.
Okay.
You've always been caring, responsible, all of that stuff. And I want to know when you became a mom.
Oh, definitely when I took Obi home from the hospital and I exclusively breastfed, as you all know, because I always talk about breastfeeding. And then I was like, I'm this child's life source.
Oh.
I was like his nutrition depends on me. And that was like, no one has ever depended on me to be fed.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so stressful. But I just remember just waking up and I'm like, I need to feed him. Because he liked to sleep. He's never been a big eater.
Yeah.
And that was, I was just like, I was thinking just more about nourishing his body than like his spirit. It was very primordial. I felt like a woman in a cave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was like the shift. And now my headspace is so much of my kids all the time.
You know what I never considered though, in a difference between men and women? Yet you're like, in a weird way with a man, obviously your presence is still important. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying to you are actually the irreplaceable part of your child's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I had a bad cheeseburger, it doesn't affect.
That's what I mean.
You know what I mean? It's like if you start eating poorly, that affects your child.
Yeah, you're surprised.
In a way,
you can't work
and it's
out
like
too much.
it's like as a dad, as long
could do
as
crack.
you could do crack.
Yes, you can't do crack.
And
No, I can't.
As long as you blow the crack smoke out the window, the child may not even know.
They could have a fully normal.
Because how
childhood.
many people think that their dad is like normal? Do you have any? Because you think everything is normal because your frame of reference for everything is so small and it gets wider as you get older.
Yeah.
But like my dad would get excited to do like a dad thing, like a milestone thing. Because I think sometimes as men, that's the only time that we're like, yes, I'm important right now.
Right, yeah.
Right now is when I'm dad and
Yeah.
and like and we need this moment. And so I went up to my dad and my tooth was loose. And he hops up, he's like so excited. He hops up and he goes and he leaves the room, runs out of the room, grabs some string, right?
Ooh.
And then grabs some string and ties one side of the string to my tooth and ties one side of the string to my daughter, but he's not talking to me. So he's not saying
explaining
anything. He's
anything?
like, be still. And then runs in the door and everything. And then he looks at me and he nods as if we've had a conversation. This man nods at me like, and it's time, right? And so then he nods, slams the door, but he didn't measure. So it's just too much string.
now the
So
door
we just watched the
slams.
door slam. And I was like, and I'm string hanging out of my mouth. And I'm like, was something supposed to happen? He was like, oof, okay. Let me, And then he went to the bathroom because then he knew he could surprise me now. Because now I know what the
But you
thing
still
would be.
didn't know what the thing was.
I didn't know what the thing was supposed to be, but I put it together when he was like,
damn.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I walked to the bathroom and then he helped me get my tooth out. But I was just like, in my mind, my dad has a plan and he knows what he's doing. And then he does it. And then I just trust it. And then he slams the door and I'm like, maybe he doesn't have plans. Like maybe
That's one of the weirdest moments, I think, for a child.
Yeah.
Is when you, for the first time, think that your parent doesn't have their shit together.
It's the falling out of the
figured
boat.
You figured that out as a child.
Oh, definitely.
Oh my God, that's very early.
That's you did as well.
Yeah.
No, because I think that means
You didn't?
No, I didn't. I saw my parents as people very late in my life. I think I really deified them. I was like, oh, they're so wonderful. They weren't perfect parents.
Yeah.
But they were always like mum and dad. And then as I came into adulthood, I was like, oh, they're people and maybe therapy wouldn't be a bad thing.
Wait, so how old do you think you were when you first were like, oh, these are people who make mistakes and things?
They just always had it together.
No, but I'm saying, how old do you think you were? Were you like in your
Oh.
teens? Were you in your...
Oh, it was in my early 20s.
In your 20s?
Yeah, my early
Oh,
20s.
man.
No,
Let me tell you something.
no.
I remember not even the first time. This is one of the many times. I was driving with my mom. This wasn't her fault, by the way, but still. I was driving with my mom, and we're in the car. We're coming back from a church service late at night, and we're almost home, like 10 minutes from the house, but it's like been an hour drive. And I'll never forget, I can like close my eyes and imagine the road. You know, it's a long, dark road, and there's one traffic light. So we're crossing over, right? So normally you'd wait for oncoming traffic, but it's like midnight. There's nothing. We see a car in the distance. We're approaching the intersection. We see a car in the distance. I'm looking out the passenger window of the car. I see the other car. It has its indicator on, its blinker.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to turn into the slip road. So it won't come to us, essentially. It means it's going to go in the direction we're also going to go, right? But I see that it's coming straight. My mom clearly is like looking at the blinker. I see it's coming straight. She's looking at the blinker. I see it's coming straight. And I'm sitting there in the passenger seat. And I was like, I think that car's coming straight for us. And I just sat there quietly. And I was like, I don't think she sees it. And then I sat there. And then I literally just sat there and I braced myself. And then the car came straight and we turned. And then it just wham! And took off the whole front of our car. And like in an accident, you don't really know what's happened. Like your car's spinning around and, you know, it's a whole thing. And then we came to a stop and she checks on me and we're fine. We were really lucky. And then when we were all like calm and everything, I said to my mom, I was like, oh, I saw that. And she's like, you saw what? I was like, I saw that car was going to hit us. And she said, why? She's like, why didn't you say anything? I was like, because you know how to drive. I don't know how to drive. And she's like, but you know how to see. She's like, don't you know how to see? I was like, yeah, I know how to see. She's like, you must say something. And I was like, okay. But that was like the final one, because this was now just in driving territory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen my mom forget things. I had seen my mom I would say from like the age of maybe like 5 or 6, I was like, okay, this is a human being who's in charge. But they don't always like have they don't have the superpower thing. Yeah. I even saw it with teachers. I remember
Oh,
once.
I always thought teachers were idiots.
Oh, okay, you thought teachers were idiots.
Oh, yeah. Because I was like, I'm smarter than you. And that's probably why they didn't like me. But I was like, no, you know more stuff just because you're older. But I was like, I have more brain power. I figured that out. I think my parents were just very competent. So they did disappoint me, obviously.
Yeah.
But they were just very competent. But then, when you look at your childhood in retrospect, you have those moments. You're like, oh, maybe that wasn't the best decision.
Yeah.
I was talking to Esther Perel about this the one day. We were talking about like traumas and childhoods and, the psychology. And it's really amazing how no matter how you raise your kid, there will always be the lack that was created.
Yeah.
And as a kid, there will always be. So there are some people who are in therapy because their parents gave them too much freedom. They could do whatever they wanted. And so they never felt protected or they never felt like there was structure or they never felt. But then there are some people in therapy because they're like, my parents, like, they gave me a rigid schedule and I couldn't do what I wanted and I had to be home at a certain time. It made me wonder, I was like, is there a single kid out there who's just like, yeah, this is going well? And if your kid thinks it's going well, are you still a good parent?
I don't know. I feel like it's so much like gambling. It's like you have the kid and you are taking a gamble that you can raise a good person. So not a killer. Right?
Yeah.
And then you're playing craps. So you just throw the dice down and the dice are going to bounce and they're going to bounce, they're going to bounce. And you could call some of the bouncing trauma, but the bounce is also how you get your end result.
You get the end numbers.
And then when you look at the thing, that's when everybody's like, good parent. Or like,
crap.
But sometimes I'm like, have you ever met some parents? Because, I think the kid is the kid. Like, this thing arrives in your life. This is how I found. And they are the way they are. Born this way, as Lady Gaga says.
This blows my mind.
I don't mean it like...
I hear every parent say this.
Is it the hardware?
Yeah, the hardware. No, you're right, the hardware.
Yeah.
They just... And you're like, oh, you just like this. Like, I can try and pull you away from it. And this is good and the bad. Like, there's strengths and weaknesses. There's just stuff encoded in you. And like, so you have that element of it. And there's some parents who like actually do an amazing job, but the kid just turns out badly. And then there's people who don't do that much and the kid turns out
pretty amazing.
It's pretty well. And so I think you can like love them, give them a good education, like make sure there's no hunger. But then after that, you just
but I'm saying,
don't
okay,
know.
so this is fascinating because you're a parent. We're speaking as former kids.
Which
and
I think childhood is the most important experience. Like when I don't just take advice from parents.
Yes.
Because everyone has had the experience of being a child.
Yes.
And I think that is valuable. If I hate parents that are like, oh, I only care about, you can't tell me anything. You're not a mum. So I'm like, so you don't think someone having once being a child is valuable?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a different episode. Every now and again, I like to get up to some mischief in the world. Cristiano always accuses me of doing something. And in this case, yes, I was doing something. I wrote a children's book. It's something I've always wanted to do because I love children's books and I loved them and I still read them, by the way. I think they're like the best books. The other ones have too many words and too few pictures. I wrote a children's book and I thought for this episode, let's talk about kids, but not just talk about them, let's talk to them. So I sat down with a group of kids who are experts at being children, by the way. I don't know if people know this. They're the real experts at being children. We're going to continue this conversation right after this short break.
Spanish doesn't. When are we starting the podcast? Right now. When you start. Hi, Daddy.
All right, coming in.
I'm squished.
You're squished? I didn't even...
No, actually, she's moving. Nola's moving.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome, Nola. Welcome, Eden. Welcome, Mateo. Welcome, Juniper. Welcome, Charlie. And welcome, Kana. Let's start with you, Eden. How long have you been a child for?
7 years.
7 years. Wow. That's like a real professional. How long do you plan to be like a child? Do you have like a long-term goal?
100 years.
100 years. I like that. So I started writing this kids book. My first instinct was talk to like adults and talk to, experts and more, because like the book is really about like how a child sees their relationship with their parents and vice versa, and the internal monologues they have, because that's what I had as a kid. And I think every child does. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to talk to kids. Like I got a full panel of children to have conversations with. And can I tell you, these little things are pretty genius. They came in with some insights. They came in with some ideas. And Josh and Christiana, I know you got to watch us hanging out together. And I was shocked at how much like information we don't give children.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Like you'll be shocked at how many kids are sort of just like left in the dark
Yeah.
about everything. So I'll talk to kids. I go, hey, do you know what your parents do for a living? And they're like, what does a living mean? Actually, let's talk about jobs. Let's talk about jobs.
Yeah,
So I would love to know.
job.
Wait. Let's go down the line. So, Charlie, do you know? Wow, what's happening here, Nola?
She's being a
getting
cuckoo head. That means she being a cuckoo head.
No, you just got hot, and then you were like, all right. So wait, Nola. So pay attention. I want to know about jobs. So we're gonna go down the line. So let's go, Nola. Do you know what parents do at jobs? Do you know what adults do?
This?
What's this? What we're doing now?
Yeah.
So you think they like hang out on a couch
Yeah.
and then
Doing
talk
a
about life?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. Okay. Eden, what do you think people do at a job?
I'm just saying scientist because my mom is a scientist.
Like what does she
Teaches
actually
science.
she teaches it. So she stands at the front of the classroom. Oh, so you guys know teachers, so you know what she does.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Mateo, what do you think adults do at their jobs?
I know my dad. You know those like people that are on the computers at the airport?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what my dad does.
Oh, dope. He's one of those guys. Oh, I've seen those people at airports. You would see like the kids, like for instance, if I say like, what do your parents do for a living? The majority of them put their fingers up to their faces and then mimed typing, but like depressed typing. Okay, so let me ask you, what do you think adults do at work?
Oh, where?
What is that?
Doing boring stuff and typing on a computer.
They're drinking coffee and typing like.
Yeah.
None of them were like smiling and being like,
Yeah,
oh my, you know what I
yeah.
mean? It's
Yeah.
just like everyone had like a,
Yeah.
you know, it's like you would think like their parents were like in a chicken coop for humans pecking away at keys.
Severance.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was. It's like, that's what, and I was like, wow. Like, I don't know, like Josh, like when you were a kid, what did you think of your parents that you now, like, because we get to an age where it starts to sort of consolidate, like as
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
What did you think of your parents? Like I've met your mom, but like what
Yeah.
like what did you think of your mom?
I mean, I it's tough because the things I thought about my mom when I was little, I still think about my mom in a really sincere way. Like I see how she isn't always the most patient in life, but she's
Yes.
very patient with people.
Mhm.
And she's very loving and generous. And so then I look at my mom as this when I was a kid, this infallible version of generosity and like understanding.
Mhm.
And now as an adult, I look at her as this very fallible version of generosity and understanding.
Oh,
So it's like none of the I feel like I saw my mom for who she was and all the qualities that she possesses.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have the right interpretation of them because I didn't have enough like world experience to understand what was happening. So like I remember there was somebody, my mom gave someone a ride one time or something like that, and all I could think in my head was like, why was this weird person in our car? Because you tell me not to talk to strangers, and then you pick the weirdest stranger
Off the street,
to give a ride somewhere, and you know, and it's still to this day. My mom is very like, be careful when you go here, watch your stuff, all this stuff like that. But then there'll be these moments that are just these like, I don't know, I guess moments of inspiration where that thing supersedes almost every lesson that I'm taught to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anyone will dispute that being a parent is a hard job, but it's weird that if something is a hard job, wouldn't it mean that like most people wouldn't be good at it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
interesting.
But then we see the defensiveness of parents or people around parents or what my parenting or what you
Yeah.
telling my child, what
yeah.
that means about me that you
Yeah.
as a stranger reprimand my child. And so then we end up in this place that I think we've been in for a while where you're entire childhood is the extent of your parents' awareness and experiences.
Yeah.
And if no one else is allowed in, because it's supposed to take a village, but
It
if
is.
the village
Yeah.
isn't welcome, if all of a sudden the village is, don't tell my child to literally when your child's wrong too. I've watched it in stores where kids tearing something up and somebody that works at the store is like, hey, put that down. It's like, no, talk to me. Don't talk to my child. And it's like, well, you don't have the presence of mind to tell your child to stop tearing stuff. So why don't I just go to the source?
Yeah.
And so I think that is what's shaping all of my. I'm like almost recontextualizing a lot of what growing up was, because I was from a family and I had a mom that would let another adult tell me what I was doing wrong. You know what I mean? Because my mom would, let's say there's some random lady and like just some old woman at the mall and it's like, hey, don't run with your shoes untied, blah, blah, blah. She would look at that woman and say, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to like, I got this, you know what I mean? And I think the I got this is like, it's a small thing, but I think it's messing a lot of people up.
I think going from being like community driven, because I remember I had a big community growing up, and I was actually thinking about it today before I was coming here. Like, there used to be these grandmas in church that would look after me. Sister Barbara, Sister Kathy, Mummy Ige. Like, these women looked after me when I was a kid, me and my sisters. So I was surrounded by like aunties and uncles who actually weren't genetically related to me, who could also like discipline me.
Yes.
But felt they had a stake in my life. And my son has less of that for different reasons. Like, my husband's family's in New York. A lot of my family's in London. We live in LA. But this isn't just specific to people who live apart from their families. Like, that village thing has diminished. Like, Josh, you talk about your aunt a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's rare with millennials raising kids. And because now it's just become the nuclear family, you, your spouse, or maybe you're a single parent, maybe a nanny, or, like, nanny's very privileged, or it's the daycare worker. You become really defensive of your choices, because if your child fails, it's an indictment on you, on your little system. Whereas, like, I grew up in a culture where if a child was doing badly, it was a community shame. Do you know? Like,
okay.
It was like everybody, like, my dad is like, you bear the name of Mbakwe when you leave this house. It was like, it wasn't just like, it was just like, you're part of a thing. Like, it was a
The
church,
collective has
it was
failed.
a church community. It was, an ethnic community. But it was like, if there was a celebration, that's why weddings were so big. If someone's getting married, everyone shows up because, like, our child is getting married. But that doesn't exist in the same way. And I think a lot of that defensiveness comes from, like, but I'm the only one doing this thing.
Yes, exactly.
And if when my child misbehaves, I feel like I have failed. It doesn't feel like we have failed. And there's something to collective failure or collective success that kind of takes the pressure off, even if it's raising children.
Yeah.
I've been trying to figure this out, but I need your help for this. Trying to understand why grown-ups don't seem to understand kids. Okay? I need your, like, what do you think it is? Okay, Nola, yes.
Because grown-ups are boring and kids are fun.
So kids are fun
Yeah.
and the grown-ups are boring.
Yeah, because
You think that's why they can't figure kids out?
Yeah. We used to sit around. If you want to get chocolate, just say no. And then boring.
That is boring.
And
you're right.
chocolate is fun.
Chocolate is fun. Kana, like, what do you think, or what do you wish adults understood more about the life of a child or a younger person?
I feel like, especially parents, do a really good job. I feel like there's two types of adults. There's like parents and then people without kids. And then parents, I feel like sometimes they like need to live their dreams through their kids. So they don't like live in the moment and they like go see like the future. So like everything right now in your life has to be like perfect. Like you can't be out late. You have to, like, there's so many rules to like protect you for the future so they don't live in the moment. And I feel like adults without kids who hang out with kids are like way more chill because I guess they're not like your responsibility, but I wish like adults in general could just like take a breath and just be like, let kids go, because what happens. And like, they figured it out and they turned out fine. Well, I mean, some adults didn't turn out the best, but like mostly adults like turn out fine. So I wish they could just understand to like take a step back and like let me be responsible for myself, because I have like all the key factors to do it.
So when I was sitting down with the kids for this episode, every child felt like they were being held back by their parents and their parents' ability or inability to cater to their like play needs or their, what was illuminating for me was watching young people process the world through a very logical lens, by the way.
Yeah.
They were like, oh man, my parents, these people are tired.
Yeah.
These people are like, they're tired. Like they're always like thinking about the future and like they don't like chill and they don't hang out and they're not fun. And unanimously, kids were like, these people don't understand us. Just all the kids. All the kids felt taken care of. All the kids, like none of the kids there was like, I think my parent is like, really a terrible parent. They're not doing a good job of.
Yeah.
But they all were like, man, this person doesn't understand me. But I wonder, like, when you were a kid, did you feel like your parent understood you? Did your parents get you? Or what was the thing that they got of you?
That's a really interesting question. So the first thing I will say is that like my dad is very, very intelligent, very astute man. And he would always debate with me. Like, yeah, we're like intellectual sparring partners. Like my mom is always like, stop, I can't take it anymore. Because we like go at it. But I always remember like, and it would be my Uncle Moses is someone else. But I would speak to, obviously they're men, but I was a child and they would go at it with me. Like, and I was a real like contrarian and kind of polemicist, and they would just go at it with me. And I think my dad saw I had something and he valued what I had to say, even though he always came in on the other side. I think his whole thing, if I say it's black, he says it's white.
Okay.
He's always, and then we like debate from there and he's still like, you're wrong. And then, but it's like, and in hindsight, that was a really valuable thing. I think especially, it was actually a radical thing. My dad has 4 daughters, but like in my culture, I think girl children are valued less. But like he never saw me as less than because I was a girl. In fact, the problem was he probably raised me like a man, and that's why I'm like this way. but it was just like that sparring meant when I went out into the world, I was like, I know my ideas have value, but like I felt very misunderstood. But my mum told me a story recently. She said that, and my dad never told me this, but it's through the perspective of my dad. I played piano. I used to do exams. And I think I was like 6 years old. I had a piano exam. And my dad was watching me through a window. And he went home and told my mum, he was like, the girl puts too much pressure on herself. And he said he saw it and it scared him because he was like, she's only 6. Why is this piano exam have so much stakes? Mind you, I think it had stakes because of how they were raising me, by the way. But like he came home and he was like, I just saw something in her that it kind of scared me because like you can't carry that intensity through life. Did he correct it? No. He would just like go be intense. But sometimes you hear stories in your adulthood that you're like, oh, you did see me, you did understand me.
Yeah.
But maybe, in that time, you don't have the language, it was just like, oh, that's who they are. And sometimes now I'm thinking, oh, it's not that they didn't understand me, it's just that they didn't have the tools and they were in a time that were like, how do we digest this trait of my child that is probably a little abnormal? Maybe we should get her some help. And that's actually just back to what you said. Because I actually, as a mother, I know I'm not enough. And I've I'm at peace with that. Like, I do not contain all the things that these children need, but I may be able to push them in towards the person who has it all.
Okay.
I mean, that's part of why I wouldn't be a stay-at-home mother, because I know I'd be doing them a disservice from where I stand.
You're compensating for the village, essentially.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't have enough. I can't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so
that would be like the village elders.
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly. And so now I'm like, and I think if more parents were like, I'm actually not enough, how do I connect with people? Because Trevor, you give me parenting advice. Josh, you give me parenting advice. You guys don't have kids, but it's always like, remember the other day when you were like, oh, no, Obi needs to be driving.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and I went back to Lewis. I was like, Trevor says he should be driving. He was like, what?
Yeah.
And then I spoke through your logic behind it. And Lewis was like, oh, that's a good idea. You know what I mean? But it takes humility to be like, actually, my friend who has no kids has more insight into my kid in this area
Yeah.
than I have because I'm so close to it.
Yes.
And I think if more parents were able to just say, I'm not enough. What do you think, Josh? What do you think, Trevor? It'd be good for our kids. But we just don't do that now.
It's also got to be very difficult. I know that I am not a parent, so I have not felt this, like, at least as what has been described to me as this like life-altering experience of like having the kid and then the kid being a part of you and you seeing parts of yourself in the kid and everything. So I understand that when there's a little bit of a whether you want to call it problem or deficiency within the child, whether it's a behavior thing or just like anything, even in the body and stuff like that, I understand the denial that some parents even go into. But I think that, like, to what you're saying, it's like a really great example is a lot of the fighters that I follow basically got into trouble in school for fighting, but not fighting in a malicious way.
Yeah.
They just want to fight. They're like, hey, let's fight. Like, I mean, and so, you know, they would get into trouble in this way that could have so easily been solved by the parent instead of being like, no, my son's not going to be a fighter. Like, you might say, you got a lot of extra energy and you clearly like wrestling with your friends.
Yeah.
Why don't we get you in wrestling? And now all of a sudden there's like not only not a problem, it's like this person does better.
So here's one thing I'll say to that I've realized. And I know this is, a lot of people will hear this and go, you can say that because you don't have kids and because, but I do believe my imagination allows me to think of what isn't and therefore it could be. I don't think, and I know this is a very broad statement. I don't think there is anything that a child is doing that is wrong. It's just we have not created the space for it in their lives. Do you know what I mean? Like anything, like to your point of like wrestling. Think of it. You go, your kid is like always like fighting with other kids at school. And to your point, not malicious fighting. We're not talking about teenagers with like issues now. Take that child, put them in a fighting thing, and all of a sudden you've given them structure. Now they are a quote unquote fighter, and it's correct. They're doing the exact same thing, but now you have given them do you know what I mean? Or like when I was young, I used to like dismantling things. Which a parent I can understand goes like, this kid unscrewed the TV. It is terrible.
Yeah.
Unless you put me in an electronics class.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, you know, assembling circuit boards and I'm working. All of a sudden your purpose is to assemble and dismantle and now you're looking at parts and you're putting things together and you're experimenting and I know it's a broad statement because someone will be like, oh, well, what if they do this? I think most things, genuinely, most things can be catered to if you get to the roots of what the child is trying to do. And that's what I mean by, you know, to borrow the phrase, like, you know, parents just don't understand. It's like, yeah, the kid is not, 9 times out of 10, kids are not trying to do a malicious thing to anyone in the family. They're not trying to dismantle your house. They just, like, they're curious and they're trying to do some shit. Don't go anywhere, because we got more What Now after this. Okay.
Can I sit down though? Like on the
You want to? Yeah, sit on the floor. Sit on, if it's gonna make you comfortable, sit on the floor. Yeah, you can sit on the floor. You can sit anywhere.
No, right? Life has been ruined.
No, I mean this is what happens in society, Mateo. You do something crazy, and then like things. Okay, but then we can't see you.
You can't see me.
No, I mean, but the people can't see you. So now you're like just gone.
This can. But this can.
I guess if you sort of like, yeah, okay, we'll imagine you.
When they were asked about if you could change one thing about the world,
yes,
like, what would you do? I don't know. You expect them to be like more popcorn or like you can have dessert for breakfast. And then they had very adult responses.
So I have like a really important question to ask all of you, and this is about the world. If you could change anything about the world, what would you change? So, Kana, what would you change?
World hunger.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I feel like that's their biggest problem. Like, obviously there's like war and stuff. But like, I feel like everyone needs a good meal and then they'll be happy because if everyone's hangry, then like nothing's gonna work.
You know, you say that and it's probably true. You find a lot of wars are fought because people are hangry. And like, I don't know about you, but if I don't eat, I could start a war. So end world hunger. Okay, Charlie, what would you change about the world?
I think I would like change, make it so that everyone's full, but also like some people don't have a home, and we wouldn't necessarily give them a home, but just like a place to stay where they would be safe from, I don't know.
Oh, I love this. Okay. So end world hunger and then give everyone a place to stay. Juniper, what would you do?
I think that like in like Monopoly or like Life or something, you know how like you start with enough money to survive?
Yes.
I think that everybody should be able to like at least they can choose how they spend their money, they can choose how it is, but there's so many people who like work super hard and they just don't, it's like hard, it's too hard. So I think that everybody should at least start with enough money to live that way, and they can choose how they want to earn their money, like, but at least they should be able to have money, like I know I'm just talking a lot about money, but I feel like that's how the world is like based off of right now.
It is. You're not wrong. So like in life, we should give everyone a little money so they can start playing the game, and it gives them a chance. Okay.
Life is a game, and there's no way to win it, but you can survive in it.
Oh, damn, that's deep. Wow. Not damn. River, that's deep. Wow, River, that's deep. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I was proud, even though I didn't know these kids that way. I was proud of what they were saying, but I was sad.
Aww.
I was really, really sad, because I was hoping for just crazy. You know what I mean? I was hoping for, what could you do? And we did get like one, like later on, like after, but it's almost like we had to solve the world's problems, and then we could get to, all right, the world is made of candy, and let's have free cheese. And then last but definitely not least, what would you change about the world?
Cheese.
More cheese.
Oh my gosh. Why is it
What kind of cheese? Hard cheese? Soft cheese?
Soft cheese.
Cheddar cheese.
Cheddar.
Just more cheese.
Cheddar. Yeah.
But what would you do with the extra cheese?
Eat it.
All of it.
Yeah, with pasta.
Do you think that there's not enough cheese in the world?
Yeah.
Huh. When Nola was like, all right, free cheese. But it's only because I said to Nola, you can't repeat anything. But I was just like, do we pause and think to ourselves what it says about our society that children, like we're talking about 6 years old to 8, 9 years old and all these, their number, when you say, what would you change about the world? They say, oh man, I think I would give people a place to live because too many people sleep on the street, and I would give people food because they're hungry, and I would give people, and I'm like, wow, you are not spared. You're not living in a child's world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was also, I don't know, don't know how this will sound out loud, but like a firm belief I've always had is that there are no such things as grown-ups. It's just that kids get more responsibilities and have a harsher.
I can actually buy into that idea.
And I think that only a kid would be like, why are we even doing this thing?
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at that and just like with the jobs thing, and the money thing, you can be like, oh, they just don't get it. But every once in a while, it's a very good question. And it's a question that sometimes finally ends up in the halls of Congress.
Yes.
Guys, why are we even doing this thing? And so it's people put so much innocence on being a child, but I think there's a real amount of perspective you get from not being glued down yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You're just not, you're almost like, I mean, I told
it's
you.
Like an honest perspective.
Yeah, I told you, even into my late teens, I think that was when I had my most maybe even my most astute perspectives, even without having been well read or anything yet. I was just like, oh, but this doesn't make sense. You now have this thing of I'm gonna stay imagining, and I'm also gonna stay a little bit freer. I think that's kind of what I saw in some of those kids with their answers being very worldly and astute, that I'm like, oh, if you could stay in a way, if you could stay the way that you are now, then I know we always put it on the next generation, but it's that's actually the sort of mindset and attitudes that change the world.
Yeah.
Because eventually you get so bogged down and stuck in the mud in a way that now somebody brings up, okay, let's open up this housing in LA, and you're like, I just got this house.
Josh, you sound like me. I've joined a neighborhood watch group.
Oh,
on WhatsApp.
wow. Oh, Christiana. Oh, no.
On WhatsApp.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what. Hey, life comes at you fast. You become a NIMBY.
Oh, man. And now it's time for a new segment, Creativity Over Coffee, brought to you by Starbucks. Christiana, you probably drink more coffee than anybody I know. You love coffee.
I couldn't live without it, honestly. As a mother.
It's funny, I like coffee for the communal side. It's like the standing around, thinking of ideas, chatting together. You're just
I
like,
feel you. Yeah.
What are some of the ideas for the show? Like, I mean, look, on the show, the idea of having kids on, should have terrified us, by the way, because you know better than anyone, like 6 kids sitting together on a couch is a terrible idea. But it was actually great. It was like a fun idea, chatting to kids, learning about their points of view. And I don't know, I think ideas like that, you can only come up with when you're sort of in like a flow state.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Coffee puts me in the flow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I start my day with cold brew. I love cold brew. Black and strong, just like me.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that.
That's how I met my husband.
No ways.
Yes, I'm not even joking. He DM'd me on Twitter and was like, oh, I see you're in LA too. We should meet for coffee. And I was like, what's this weird guy wanting to ask me out for coffee? But I'll do it because it was coffee and he seemed interested. And here we are.
He brought you in with
now
the
I
coffee.
have his children. I'm not even joking.
Well, that's the end of our coffee break. But hopefully you're inspired, to connect and come up with some creative ideas or a marriage. It's a great day for coffee. It's a great day for Starbucks.
That wasn't how it was like in the 1700s.
It wasn't like that. I was there and it wasn't like that.
You were there?
I was
You were
there,
in a
yeah.
time machine?
I am old.
Wait,
Noah.
everybody, is this true? Is this true?
It is true.
Yeah.
I was there in the 1700s.
Yeah. My dad was there.
But a lot of us were there.
I don't know if this is as much of an African thing as it is a Southern thing, so I just wanted to.
Which, by the way, is the same thing.
It is very much
It's the same thing.
It's so.
Can I
close.
tell you? Sorry to cut you off.
No, you good.
That's one of my favorite things. Is how much when I meet people from the South.
Yeah.
I feel like we had the exact same childhood. I feel like, and we don't want to go to the dark reason why.
Sure.
So we're not gonna go there.
Yeah.
But like literally, when you talk about your mom, I'm like, that's my mom.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
talk about your parents, I'm like, that's my parents. Like, but carry on.
Well, basically, there's a thing that a lot of Southern people have that I wonder, who the person is for y'all, because I've been told by a lot of people. I have a grandfather I never met, right?
Mm-hmm.
Passed away before I was born. And so it's not as if I could have been nurtured by him or grown up around him, but so many people in my life have told me I remind them of him, and it's almost like his spirit a little bit.
We completely have that.
And I'm wondering who you get told is like your spirit person.
So my parents are hyper Christian.
Okay.
So they've moved away from the reincarnation, which is a big thing in like Igbo culture, and Yoruba culture. There's like names that signify, like the name, one of my closest friends, her name is Yewande, which means the mother has returned, and is normally a name you give to somebody when they died. A grandmother died, and then the child that was born is a girl. So there's names like, I think Iyabo is the other name that's like that. So I do, like, the lore of the culture is that people believe in reincarnation. So, but my parents never said that about me. However, Obi is so much like my father. There's things he does that scares me. Like the other day, he was walking through the supermarket and he had his hands behind his back.
Doing the old man walk.
And I was like, I was like, oh my God, it scared the shit out of me. And I had to take a picture. I was like, what? And then there's a way he sits sometimes and the way he places his hand. And like, of course he's around my dad. They speak on FaceTime all the time, but like the actual mannerisms. And I was like, oh, I gave birth to my father.
Especially if there's something you couldn't have taught.
Couldn't have like, there's no, but he just was like walking around and he was looking around like in the way that my dad does and looking down. And I took a picture and I like, my dad was like, he said something in Igbo, blood is obara. Yeah, and we're just talking about like the power of blood in that way. So I'd say my son very much, I look at him and I see my father, but myself, I don't know. But Trevor.
No, I had that. So I was always told, like, people would say that to me about my grandfather. They would say, like, they'd literally say, you guys do the same thing, and and you like walk in a room, and this terrified me because we found out my grandfather was bipolar at the end of his life. So now I was like, oh, you don't understand how many like psychologists I've seen where I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? They're like, no, you're not. I was like, all right, we're gonna keep checking. But yeah, I had that where people would say it's the same. They go like, you just seem like a flash from the past. They go,
wow.
You like the walk and I didn't spend a lot of time with him, but they go, the walk is like his, and the way you love telling people jokes, and the way you love causing chaos in a conversation, and all. They're like, it's like we're watching it happen again. And what mesmerized people was the fact that we didn't spend time together. Like, I spent all my time with my grandmother. Her and I are completely different. We were like completely different people, vibes, everything. It's just, I have a lot of personality traits from my dad, which my mom has told me about. And ironically, again, I spent very little time with him. And these are like personality things that adults would have with each other. It's not like a child would pick up from a parent.
Yeah.
My mom's just like, oh man, that's your dad, So it is fascinating to see that. And to see like a passed down / which I like. I don't know. So before we go, there's two important things that I really need your help figuring out.
Wait, I got
What do you think adults struggle with understanding about kids? Like, what do you wish they understood? Okay, yes, Juniper.
Okay, so I think that like adults sometimes don't understand like kids' feelings. And, like, the way that, like, popularity at school and, like, when, like, something happened, like, my mom was just like, read, and I was like, no. And, like, in other things, too, like, I found out that I didn't get into something that I really, like, worked for. And then they were like, go read a book, and I was like, it's kind of, like, more than that.
Oh.
But, like, parents are also, like, can be very understanding, but other times, like, even as early as, like, the next morning, you can, like, go to sleep, and then the next morning, it feels like they don't understand you at all.
Okay, so if I'm hearing what you're saying, you would love to live in a world where parents spend a little more time trying to understand what their kids are going through.
Yes.
Because maybe for them, they make it seem like it's a small thing, and they sort of get over it quickly, but then kids might still be dealing with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that was probably my favorite thing about hanging out with these kids was it made me realize that kids are a lot more perceptive than we think. And if we use that as a resource, genuinely, I don't even mean this in like a meh world, you could like build a better world. Like even as a parent, kids can tell you things about yourself that you need to work on. It's amazing how they will, in the same way, funny enough, like dog trainers will tell you there's no such thing as a bad dog. There's only a bad owner. I think kids tell you who you are, whether you like it or not. They'll just tell you. I wonder how many parents ask their kids, hey, what do you think I could work on? What do you think I could spend a little more time? Where do you see my failings? Like, where do you, because you're a parent, right? Your job is to raise this child, and yet you never ask the child who you are raising how they think you're doing, which to me sounds like a crazy...
We should bring end of year reviews.
We should.
Like end of year, just be like to your kids, so what did I do well this year?
What do you think I do well?
And what didn't you like about me? It's hard. I don't even want to know what my kids would say. But...
And I think they would surprise you.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised at how lenient children are in a way that parents aren't.
Yes.
I think parents take for granted that kids see in them things that they don't even see in themselves, and kids see in the world things that we don't see in the world.
And if you ask them when they're still like all up under you, like I know until I was like maybe 10, I was like all up under my mom, wanted to be with my mom all the time. It's like you ask a question like that, there's no agenda behind it. It's like, it's literally like, I wanted the best for my mom, but the way that like a child wants what's best for you in such earnest is like,
that's very true.
It's like, earth-shattering, like shaking to your soul. Just even kids that aren't my kids, but my friends' kids will be like, "How have you been?" And like, "I've missed you so much." And like the way a child says they miss you, it's like, what?
Yes.
You were thinking about
Yes.
You don't even know what week it is.
Yeah.
Like this is just the summer, and you're like, "I've missed you so much." It's like,
And it's like if we gave them a chance, like genuinely, I would encourage everyone who's a parent, just try it. Just like try it. Just go sit with your kid and be like, "Hey, how do you think we could improve this household?" And don't get me wrong, one of their suggestions is going to be more ice cream. Of course, there's always going to be ice cream.
yeah. So I think asking questions like that is like, yeah, that could be world changing.
Yeah, we should do it. Well, this was fun. Let's go make kids, Josh.
I'm good because this is the thing.
No. Let's go do it. We're gonna go make kids. We're gonna go make kids, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Because it seems easy to me. Seems easy raising them. Seems easy understanding them.
I didn't say any of this.
We're gonna do it.
I think we
just
need the
people-
wives first.
We're gonna do it.
People listening, I didn't say
We're gonna do it.
this stuff.
You heard it here first. Josh and Trevor gonna go out and make some kids
I don't know why you put my name first. But
and raise them.
This is my dad.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. No offense.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
Jenny.
Kana. Thank you for coming. Nola, thank you for coming. Charlie, thank you for coming. Juniper, thank you for coming. Mateo,
you
thank you
so
for coming.
much.
Eden, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
I will make sure to
Trevor
tell the adults everything you've said, and let's try to change the world. Thank you, everybody.
Jenny.
Nice job, everyone.
Bart. Bobby.
Do you guys have any questions or anything? You do? What took me so long to get to Baltimore? The traffic. No, I'm joking. Because the show was postponed. Yeah, so we had some knock-on postponements because I think one was COVID. Was it what? Was it Chris Rock? I like you. What's happening? Like, bring me into your world. Wait. Tell me more. The week I was supposed to perform in March. A week later, Chris Rock filmed his special where he addressed getting slapped. Did Chris Rock knock me off? No. I love that you were watching all of this and you were like, ooh. This is amazing. You thought Chris Rock knocked me out of Baltimore and then I couldn't perform because of him. That's amazing. No, Chris, first of all, Chris would never do that to me. Like as comedians, especially comedians who are friends, we do a good job of knowing where everyone's performing. But I really love this idea. You thought I had beef. I was sitting there. You were watching Chris Rock's thing waiting for me to come out and slap him. Keep my week out your month. So you from here, and then I'm assuming you as well. Who drove in? It's amazing to hear the difference in pitch. When I said who's from Baltimore, I was like, woo. And then who drove in, you're like, woo. We get to leave. You had a very different tone and pitch. No, I've had a good time. You know, the aquarium was fun. You know, yeah. The aquarium's beautiful. Took like a walk. There's a lot of history out here as well. Like everywhere you go, you're like, damn, that happened here. That person's from here. This thing, you're like, wow. It's pretty impressive. You know, a lot of it historical, but still, you know. No, it is pretty impressive. First black governor. Congratulations. Wait, are you the first black governor or you? No, I don't know. You could have just been telling me that, like, I'm first black governor. I don't know. When was the first black governor? Now? That's pretty wild. Oh, wait, Wes is here? That's here? Oh, damn. Oh, I wondered where Wes was. Okay. Oh, damn. It's pretty wild that in 2023 there's still like first black anything. No, you would have thought by now that would just be like, you know, second. Oh, there we go. Damn, that person's like, he's the second! I am the first! Like how we've got all the governors here. Me, damn you! Don't you dare steal my legacy! You look very tall, Jordan. You play basketball? Football. Oh, okay. That makes sense. You know, there's a weird statistical, it's basically just like a rule in America. Once you are above a certain height, I think it's like 6'5" or 6'6", then statistically you are a pro athlete in one of the sports. No, it's true. It's true. It just is. It's like once you get beyond a certain height, it means that you've probably played one of the sports at a high level, college or further. So it's like that's why I asked you the question. So you play football? You did play football, like American football? Oh, I don't. You like I don't do soccer, man. I like that. I don't do soccer. Not I don't play soccer. Not I haven't played. I don't do soccer. I loved watching football as a kid growing up. And we never had American football in South Africa, right? But we would see it in movies and we never knew what was happening. Like it was amazing because we'd like watch it on TV, like, and we wouldn't see the full games. There would just be moments and sometimes in movies, and then we would try and do it ourselves because we loved American culture. And then we would just like stand there together as kids and we're like, dude, then me! Dude, then me! Yep, 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 yep. I love that. I love that you played football and you're like I don't do soccer. So what position did you play in football? Say again? DB. Cornerback. What does the DB have to do with cornerback? How does that work? No, I'm ignorant. Help me out. What is defensive back? Okay, so, and this is a stupid question, I know. So you're playing on defense. Okay, so wait, help me, because I know, I'm familiar with all the people, I just don't know like the actual like designate. So were you the guy who's like doing this while the other guy's trying to catch the ball? Yes? That, I love your position. You're like a professional hater, that's what you are. I always think everyone in life has that person where you're like trying to do something in your life, you're like, I can do it, and someone else is like, no, you're not gonna make it, no. It's such a fun position. I actually think that's the best position, because if you're catching, it's stressful, you gotta catch the ball, you gotta do the whole thing with your tippy toes every time you get it. That's my favorite moment in football. Like, it's my favorite moment, because football has the most range of any sport I've ever seen, right? It's like, in the beginning, it's like, hot, yeah, boom, bah. But then when they catch the ball, it's always like, ah. I love that. It's adorable. It's such a beautiful range. It's like a little tippy toe thing at the end. But your job is fun. Because your job, you don't have to like catch the thing. You just have to run really fast and then just like get the guy. I like that. Were you good? Yeah? I like that. Jordan was like, of course. Of course I was. Oh, it's a dope sport, man. It's really exciting. It's crazy and scary, but it's fun. It's fun. And so you're done now in life. Not in life like that. No. Don't be like that. What I mean is like no more football. No more. Okay. So I see you here with a lovely lady. Who is this, Jordan? Michelle? I like how you're not like, you don't give her a designation. No, and not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Watch out for your phone. I like that. I'm like, who is this? And you're like, Michelle? Most people would say, this is my girlfriend, this is my wife. You're like, no, this is Michelle. And I'm Jordan. Your girlfriend. Okay, I wasn't trying to pressure you at all. I wasn't trying to pressure you. How are you, Michelle? You doing well? How did you two meet? Hinge? Oh, look at you. Oh, congratulations. That's a beautiful matchup. What did you like about his profile, Michelle? Say again? His height? Wow. You know what I love? I love how like women can just like say something like that and just carry on with their day.
Because, like, let's be honest, if like, I asked Jordan if it's like, what do you like? And he was like, her boobs. People would be like, no, hey, boo. Come on, man. Say something else. And you were like, he was tall. I'm picturing you before that moment, Michelle. You were just spending the day in the house, walking around. A few things you wanted hung up. You got on Hinge, and you're like, yep, that's him. That's him. You had flashbacks to your future, all those items in the supermarket you could never buy before. That's adorable. So what was it for you, Jordan? What did you like? Say again? Personality. Look at this guy. Huh? Huh? Look at that.